Welcome to Indepth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, the founder and CEO of Academia.edu, and I'm super excited to have you here tuning in today. As always, I'm here to walk you through recent academic research with curiosity and respect for all perspectives. Just a reminder, I'm presenting the paper neutrally, not endorsing any particular view or argument myself. Think of this as a friendly tour through rigorous minds at work. So, today's episode features a thought-provoking paper by Ben Abrahamson. His piece is titled, "Islam is the most pluralistic of all religions." Yeah, big claim, right? Let's unpack how he actually gets there, what the core question is, and what it might all mean for you, whether you're deeply religious, curious about theology, or just someone who likes asking why and what if about history and belief. Okay, first, what's the central question here? Abrahamson is exploring whether the Islamic worldview, especially through frameworks within both classical Islam and certain schools of rabbinic Judaism, can be interpreted as fundamentally pluralistic, meaning big tent, inclusive of legitimate diversity, but not just in a superficial, let's all get along way. It's got teeth. It's about whether Islam, in a theological sense, is designed to affirm the validity of other prophetic traditions like Judaism and Christianity, while maintaining its own distinctive identity. Now, why does this matter? Why spend 40 plus minutes of your life listening to a deep dive on, the concept of religious pluralism, especially within Islam? Well, a ton of our public conversations, if we're honest, treat religions as if they're locked in zero-sum, winner-take-all battles over history, truth, or salvation. Abrahamson's paper is making a case, by interpreting classical sources in a specific way, that maybe that's not the only way to read these traditions. And if you care about coexistence, dialogue, even about how you see your own faith or the guy sitting next to you, it could shift your thinking. So, what's the method here? Abrahamson takes as his starting point a translation project he worked on, Lost Christianity, which led him to compare Islamic, Christian, and Jewish paradigms of religious history. He introduces two models, single covenantism and multi-covenantism. Ready for some jargon? Don't worry, I'll keep it clear. Single covenantism, in a nutshell, says there's one true covenant between God and humanity at any given time. When one group strays, a new prophet comes along to reset the relationship. So, in this paradigm, Islam is not so much another religion as it is the next chapter, ending up as the last word. It's kind of religious progress as succession, with, new versions replacing older ones, like software updates. Multi-covenantism, by contrast, argues for parallel legitimate covenants, multiple valid paths at the same time. Early Christianity for Gentiles, Judaism for Israel, Islam as the universalizing frame. They're all valid, running side by side, tailored to their peoples and times. You get diversity without total relativism. Nice, right? But wait, Abrahamson goes a step further. He brings in the idea of two-level Islam, where deen means universal religion. Think faith, ethics, submission to God. And Sharia is community-specific law and practice. So under this model, you could have someone who's, say, a practicing Jew or Christian in terms of their law, but still inside the universal envelope of Islam in its broadest sense, as a religion of submission to God. Basically, law varies. Core faith is one, at least in the eyes of God. I know it's a lot. He even dubs this religious federalism. So imagine kind of like states in the US Federation. Each one has its own laws, but they share a constitution. Likewise, Abrahamson says different faith communities have their own sharias, their own legal and ritual codes, but all are united at the root by the same divine purpose, tangible insight time. For you as a listener, this model suggests that the ways religions have been taught, as exclusive or competitive, might actually be less inevitable than we think. Abrahamson doesn't say everyone should see things like this, but he's arguing that, at least textually and theologically, it's a live option. Jews and Christians, under this model, could, in principle, be saved or approved by God without conversion, simply by affirming the legitimacy of other prophets, especially Muhammad, and maintaining their own sincere practice. Conversion becomes a matter of acknowledging legitimacy, not swapping teams. Now there's more nuance. He also cautions that mixing laws from different communities haphazardly can turn truths into lies for those communities. So it's not a buffet. Each tradition has integrity. Still, the overall thread is that pluralism is not just grudging tolerance, but divinely intended diversity. One last spontaneous thought. While reading this paper, I kept thinking about how music students are sometimes told there's just one way to play a scale, but then a jazz teacher comes along and opens up new styles. Suddenly, the rules feel different. Context really is king. Anyway, let's get back on track. To wrap up, Abrahamson's paper isn't claiming to reveal eternal truth. He's offering perspectives, frameworks, and especially a case for rethinking what religious pluralism could mean if you read Islam a certain way. For you, that might open some new questions about dialogue, about what acceptance or recognition actually require. Academic research doesn't always tidy up the world. It's about expanding your options for reflection. So, take what speaks to you, question the rest, and remember, truth in academia is always a conversation. Thanks for joining me today for In Depth with Academia. I'll be back soon with more discussions of fresh, sometimes surprising scholarship. Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and see you next time.